Today we're going to make rolls. Okay, so first we're going to start with 3½ cups of bread flour. 3½ cups of bread flour, and we're going to add less sugar, 3 tablespoons of sugar. We're going to add a 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And we're going to add 2 packages of yeast. Quick rise yeast, not slow rise. We want it to get done today, not tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with this that I did with the other kind of cinnamon rolls. I'm going to mix this up first before I add the shortening. Okay? I want to get the yeast added in before I add the shortening. And over there somewhere is some water. We need to see if it's still the right temperature. What temperature does the water need to be, Hannah? 120 degrees, and can it be 130 degrees? No. What should be the last thing we play with? The hot water, okay? And the hot water spigot is what temperature, Cody? It's pretty close to 200 degrees, and we only need 120, which means you have to add some cold water. So you want to get more water than you need and then pour off until you have the right temperature. Since you need 2¼ cups, you need a what on your mise en place? You need a quart measuring cup on your mise en place, okay? Shortening in there, let's get this a little warmer. Over. Now that the dough was rounded and rested, and you'll see all of there's a list of 12 steps, and you'll get it today. You're going to do the same thing you did with the other kind. You're going to slowly add it, okay, to the mixer. We got the paddle in there, not the dough hook. And we use bread flour. So where would bread flour be, guys? Do you know where bread flour is? Look over there on the counter. See if you see a big canister that says bread flour. There you go. So, if it was empty, what would you do? Ask where more was, right? Okay, don't use all purpose. You got to start with bread flour. Okay, and this has got to beat for about the same amount of time, I think 3 minutes. So we're going to let it go and get the water minutes out of here. We're going to make the bread dough into rolls. We're going to make some croissants, and we're going to make some knots, and we're going to make some fans, and we're going to make some clover leaves. Those are the ones we're going to make today, okay? So, we need 1 pound of dough for the croissants, and then Tori, you can roll it into a circle for me, okay? Okay. First we have to round it. Leaves, knots. Okay, so clover leaves need 3-ounce pieces, so we'll do a few of them. We have some more scales, and we'll be using like all of them to do this project. It's because you all need to weigh out your dough, okay? I need a 3. Put me a little flour on here. So we got to round it, and it's got to rest first. So she's going to do rounding while I do some weighing. And we're going to put the clover leaves in a cupcake pan. So when you do this, you need to do 2 shapes for me. Everybody's doing knots because that's what I need for the dinner. And then you can take some of your other dough and make something else, okay? I think that last year we had everybody do croissants, and then I think we did knots, and maybe they got whatever was left at the end, they did something else out of it, okay? We're going to do 4 of these guys. So a clover leaf needs a 3-ounce piece. You got to write that down because you won't remember tomorrow. Clover leaf needs a 3-ounce piece because you're making 3 balls, and they're all 1 ounce. Okay, so those are for clover leaves. And now I'm going to do some knots, and a knot needs 2 ounces. Too big. How long does it need to rest after you round it? It needs to rest at least 5 minutes. At least 5 minutes, okay? we are going to have, this is going to be the fans, okay? And we're going to divide this after it rests. That's perfectly fine. Okay. Fan. All right. Get a pan. And now we So for both the clover leaves, I know, it was the Parker House rolls. That's the one we're not doing. But I'll have a picture for you. I'll show you that too. And the fans, you need to use a muffin tin and you need to butter it. Okay, so if you're going to make those kind, you need a muffin tin and you need to butter it with part of your butter. And usually at the end of this lab we have leftover butter and we put it all in one measuring cup and then we have it to use for something else. Please don't throw out your butter if you don't need it, okay? Okay, so first one I'm going to do because it's rested the longest. What has rested the longest? What is that for? What did we say? Croissants, okay? So I'm going to put a little more flour down. I'm going to do a little patty caking. We're going to want this to be in a circle. Okay, so these are going to be clover leaves. So you're going to take your dough and roll it a little bit, and then we're going to divide it into, come here, flour, divide it into 3 pieces, and then we're going to roll those, and we're going to make sure that the good side is up, right? Good side is up. Icky side always goes down. So you got 1. And you got 2, and you got 3, and you're going to stick them in there. Okay, stick them in there. There they go. Nice and cozy. Anybody ever had a clover leaf roll? Okay. And how many ounces was a clover leaf roll?
3 ounces.
3 ounces. What we're doing now to the dough is called making it up, and that means getting it into the shape that you want it to be baked in. And actually the makeup is probably takes more time than the mixing, right? The proofing takes a long time, but you're not doing too much while it's proofing. The makeup part takes the longest time. You're going to put some butter on these before they go in the proofer, and you have to put the butter on before they go in the proofer. If you forget to put the butter on, don't try to put it on after they're proofed before they go in the oven, because what do you think will happen? Yeah, they'll go boop, because you'll touch them to put the butter on and they'll all go down, okay? So just skip the butter then. It's not that big a deal, okay? But you'll remember, okay, this is supposed to be like a 12-inch circle like a pizza, okay? About that big. And as you notice, we had a hard time getting it there. You're going to put butter all over the whole thing. There she is. And then you're going to take a pizza cutter and you're going to cut it in half. See how it goes apart? And you're going to cut it in half. And then you're going to go this way. And you're going to go this way. And what do you think you're going to do next?
Roll them.
Roll them. Which end are you going to start at?
The big end.
The big end is right. Okay? Okay. You're going to start at the big end. And you're going to make sure that the little point is down and underneath, okay? Because if the point's not down, what's going to happen? It's going to flop up when it's baking, and it's not going to look very pretty, okay? So do a little rolling over there. Okay, these are knots. Okay, here we go. Knots. You're all making some knots. And how big were the knots? 2 ounces, right? Okay, so you roll the knots out like they're a snake. Now think about this. Think about me with a 4-year-old. What do you think a 4-year-old would love to do? This right here. Okay, so whenever I was having a dinner party, I'd make bread dough and I'd get that 4-year-old making me snakes. That's what she called them, snakes. Snakes are ready, Mommy. And then you come back and you tie them up in a knot. Okay? There you go. There's a knot. Okay? There he goes. He's going back in. It's okay. You can also do double knots, triple knots, and you can do figure 8 knots. And when you get your bookwork and look in the book, there'll be pictures of all those. Probably the single knot's where we're going this time. Next year you can try a harder one. Sometimes some of my kids really get into bread and they work on them in the summer. The person who wins baking at Skills USA and goes on to nationals will be making a braided bread for nationals. Okay? Okay, there we go. That's not a very good looking knot, but we're doing it. Okay. Tori, I need this one in a rectangle, but not any butter on it yet. Okay? How long's our stuff been in the proofer, Tori? Do you know? Just like a knot, just goes through there. Got it? Got it? Okay, come on, knot. Okay, the ones in the picture always have the little things sticking up. So, what do I got to do to these guys before I put them in the proofer? Butter. Butter. Unless there's butter on them. Okay, guys, get the little thingy underneath so you can't see it. You shouldn't see that little point. Tori forgot. It's been a while. Okay, what did I say I was making this into? Fans. Okay, so fans you need strips for, okay? And you usually use 6 strips, so well, we're gonna make this work. Okay. You want to put some butter between them, okay? Butter, need a little butter. A little butter. Uh-oh, is there butter behind you? I'm gonna need more butter. Yikes. Come here, strip. And then you stack your strips. Okay, I should have done 3 strips. Let's do this. I'm gonna play. Okay. You're supposed to stack them up, but you know, any way you do it works. I think it would work better the other way once they get buttery. I think your book says there are supposed to be 6, but 4 will be okay. 4 will be okay. Okay. And as you can imagine, since you got these strips, they turn into fans because they fan. Does that make sense? Hopefully you'll see one tomorrow if you don't see one today.